Season 8 is here, guys. We are live. What did you think?
Welcome back.
I like Equestria Girls better.
No, this is Equestria Girls, but with ponies.
This is Equestria Girls, the pony version you've always been waiting for.
No.
So, in recent news, Tootsie Forever has been banned from the live stream for an unknown reason.
All right, really quick, I gotta ask: did anybody else take notes? Because I literally have pages.
I took one note.
Mental notes, but not
I don't know. I fell
open.
asleep during most of the class.
Yeah, only mental notes.
I didn't take many notes at all.
So
I took one note.
Right off the bat, we have all that exposition about the movie, which I found very obnoxious.
That is very
That was awful.
At the start, all they're talking about is that the map expanded, but that holds no place
That was terrible.
within the episode.
like,
It might hold place across the season, but within the episode, it has like no proper meaning there. They could have just threw it out and saved it for another episode, something like that.
So should we?
You're forcing people to watch the movie now.
The first two words in my notes are shoehorned movie time.
Well,
Yeah.
but I think the one thing that was really weird about that season is nobody remembers Twilight defeated.
Not the season.
Nobody defeated T-Rex. I mean, come on, Equestria must know about it.
I think you're a few seasons behind, drummer.
Yeah.
No, it's like 2 seasons behind.
What timeline are you
That was
in?
like season 5, wasn't it? I think
Yeah, it was.
No.
Drummer forgot half the show.
Which half?
Guys,
Well, apparently a lot of ponies forget the fact that the main six save the world like over and
Yeah.
over. So I mean,
because nobody cares.
I
So
suppose
the problem with this episode is,
literally entire Equestria
Look, I
does-
wasn't
weird.
there. I didn't see it.
you know, so
the problem I had with this was too much red tape.
yeah. Well, another big problem is usually whenever an episode feels rushed, it's like, oh, it should have been a two-parter. Well, this was a two-parter, and they introduced like a million different things and never had time to develop any of it,
Still
including the
feels
new
rushed,
characters.
kinda.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't like it that it was
Starlight do anything. And why was there like pug wugglies or whatever they
Yeah,
are?
no, they
They're
introduced
disgusting.
a new creature. They introduced
why
6 new
were the porgs so
characters.
ugly?
They introduced like a million different things, and it just didn't have enough time. So it should have been spread
I
out.
liked.
And they
I like-
tried too much.
And a naysayer, which we should mention.
And I
what's the
think
guy's
Rainbow
voice?
Dash's mane like changed in the part where she saved them, and she did the little wink, because I saw like an extra little like hair in there somewhere. An extra like.
I kind of like the fact that Rarity tried to cheer up Twilight, but Rarity put Twilight in a clown costume. I'm like, wow.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. That was one of my favorite parts of the episode. But so how do you guys feel about Common Core being canon?
Just your outfit.
The
please.
movie, you mean?
The movie? No,
Well,
no, the
guys,
EEA.
I don't really care for it. I don't like it.
A couple hundred years ago, people wore that stuff unironically. You uncultured
Not a couple hundred. There's a lot more than a couple hundred.
I'm not sure how I.
Swine.
A couple hundred years ago, people were wearing suits as casual.
I'm not sure how I feel about the EEA.
Existed, people wore that unironically.
How do you guys feel about the EEA being above Celestia? That rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Are they really opposed?
Maybe she actually is because well then again Celeste towards the end straight up talked down to him, you know.
Well, yeah.
Wait, does that
What
mean the
I
EA is above the president of the U.S.?
No, because
the
Celeste's
Supreme
not a
Court?
president. Celeste's a dictator. Obviously, that's how it is.
What I thought was how the episode covered, how broken the education system is in Equestria, and I'm glad.
Please don't look too deep into this, drummer.
Don't go too deep.
No, the
Yeah,
problem was it tried to introduce a new education
They're
system. and
referencing politics.
it didn't exist before.
I mean, this premiere pretty much hit too close to home as is, Tremor.
Yeah, really.
Well, it was just my opinion.
Yeah,
and we
cannons
got,
in school.
and-
Jesus.
And we got the new playset.
Play pretty well.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I don't really care for the movie being canon at all. Too forced.
my complaint was
love
that.
I felt so half and half with that.
Hold on, Turtle. Go.
I think you're quiet, Turtle.
Oh, let me move my mic over a bit. Yeah, my complaint is like the EA came in, they were all of a sudden the most important thing ever, and she had to get her school accredited. Oh my gosh, we have to do this, guys. And then, oh, nuh-uh, we don't need this.
Princess of Friendship. Get out of here. No.
I wrote my own.
Starlight, heck the rules. No.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so why did we even worry about that red tape to begin with? If we're not going to really resolve it in any meaningful way, why
Just
worry
cut it.
about it?
It feels like Mike Vogel wrote this episode, probably
Yeah.
because he did.
Yeah.
Somebody else wrote it
Probably because he
alongside.
did.
Guys, look what I posted in the live stream reviews.
That's your student loans.
So,
Student loan.
all right. So how do you guys
That
feel?
guy's gonna be a villain that returns because his magic was pretty sick.
How do you guys
Mike,
feel
you know.
about
Mike
every
Vogel
pony
is
not
gonna be
being
the villain.
politically correct?
Do it.
Because in the
Kind of
past, the show's
interesting.
always
Yes.
used the word every pony as one word, and it's always referred to
Oh,
everyone.
But now,
I
they're
didn't
saying,
even think of
is
what
every
they
I mean,
creature
honestly,
okay?
Now it's a
just-
species, it's slur.
Saying like
Yeah.
every creature just makes it worse. in
I
my
know.
opinion.
Yeah,
Race
They
war
said every
too.
creature
So-
twice.
Is
So
every
we're saying
race
that
okay?
we don't like PC culture. Okay, good.
Does that mean BronyCon instead of hi
No,
every
but
pony is
all
gonna
right.
be a hi-
No, I gotta explain. It feels like a piece of the show dies when they can't say every pony, because that was such a like a lovable part of the
But
show.
Applejack mentioned
Yeah.
everyone. That was
You know,
so
I
funny.
feel like this is an extension of that, though.
You know what gets me though? I mean, you think of Equestria as a place that there wouldn't be any racism to begin with. Like,
No,
they
there's
pretty
more.
much kept
There's
it
race
also-
wars now.
No, there's the
Yeah.
three
There's
pony
race-
It's
races.
a good place.
Everything else outside.
I mean,
of
it
that.
is called Equestria for a reason.
Yeah,
the
horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, see,
I
It's
see,
mostly
even-
horses
even the
throughout the
naming
seasons,
is
but now
racist.
it's like
Even
there's
the-
other
the one
creatures
thing
out
I
there that
liked
came
from
in.
the one thing I liked from the school characters was that surfboard pony turtle dude.
Turtle
I-
dude.
I
Yeah,
like
him.
that.
He had a name. It was Sandbar.
Sandbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Sandbar character, but man, that girl yak just annoyed me.
Really?
I love the girl yak.
What?
Girl
I thought
yak
you
was
could
amazing.
relate to her.
Girl, yeah,
No!
that's all right.
Be quiet.
I mean, what annoyed me was the changeling, and like, what is there really a limit to what they can do? Like, what
Not
they can
really,
change
no.
into? I mean,
That changeling's an emo.
What? No, I don't think
and
so.
Tootsie's. Well, I don't know about that, but Tootsie's gonna end up loving that
No, I
little
don't really
changing
care
at
for
the
any
end.
of the new characters.
She's related to Thorax, and if she is, you're gonna go like,
Oh, wait, so that's
later
a
on the
quick-
season.
Quick point. Are they all related to the people that
Yeah,
the
what?
characters
No.
that brought
Oh
them?
no,
Yeah, I have a
no,
question.
not all of them. No.
No.
Did you not bring
Because
this up?
no, hold on.
No,
I
they
gotta,
didn't
I
bring
gotta
this up
really,
at all.
I gotta finish this one
Yeah,
because it's
they did.
important.
They did.
If they only had
not in
the
a family way.
they only had the
They're related,
recognizable
like-
characters bring them in. That way we'd recognize them. Then that's kind of lame. Like, what's the point of
Very
Thorax
lame.
bringing the changeling if there's no relation? Same goes for any other
Well,
characters.
no, there is
Is
a
that his
relation.
daughter?
Was there?
Is that his
relation is
sister?
that
Who
these
is that?
characters we know, these characters we know are the leaders of these respective places,
Mhm.
and they have picked these proteges from these towns.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
more
That's
sense.
what it was.
I thought it was just forced. So, oh look, I know that
Same.
character. Like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that makes
felt
more
more-
Kind
sense.
of is, but they
I was
have a reason
questioning
behind
because
it.
when did Ember have a daughter?
Yeah, no, I guess there's no relation like that.
Why
Turtle's got a
would
good
you
point.
even think that? It's so obvious.
I don't know if it's obvious, but you know, I
Well-
did pick up on it.
I mean, if
It-
I can
it
pick
would
up on it, I
crush
think
all the
anything's
spike
obvious.
ships. It would definitely crush all the spike ships.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. All the
Oh.
spike ships, get out of
What's
here.
that? I hear new ships in the harbor.
Spike X rarity. Whoa, whoa.
Spike X.
Sandbar
X.
X the dragon thing.
Well, there goes
No,
Spike
they-
X.
Oh, you know, it was
they're,
a-
they're playing Battleship now. One ship is going down.
I have another question.
What's
Are
your
they all
question?
Oh,
girls, or are they just teenagers?
I think they're children.
And did we ever see Sandbar's, like, what was the reason for Sandbar joining? Did he have a connection?
He was a pony.
Yeah, I mean,
Talking
Boom.
to turtles.
There's got to be like at least one of every
Guys,
like
it's a
race that there
reference
is.
to me. I
It's gonna
better
be a
pat myself on the
pony.
back now.
Yeah.
Reference to you.
And there was just straight up my OC in the show. Whoop whoop.
guys, speaking of Sandbar, during the end, we noticed that his guardian isn't there. It's only just the other.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, he lives in Ponyville, so he didn't really need to be walked to school, I guess.
I mean, still.
Well, I mean, his parents should have been there for
Yeah.
him.
His parents don't love him. He's adopted.
Well, he wasn't missing.
I'm sad.
He wasn't missing. The others were missing.
Brother.
Just like Scootaloo.
Where are
The
the
hippogriffs are
Crusaders,
canon.
by the way? Where have they been?
They're not in the.
Yeah.
I think they come later. We'll see them soon.
I think they
Don't
call
worry,
it.
we'll hear Michelle Creeper's voice soon.
Also, apparently hippogriffs can just transform into sea ponies.
Okay,
even
yeah,
way
we-
Oh no
That's a good
We
question.
gotta about this. She might have had a necklace. She might have had a
Or
necklace.
whatever.
We
No,
thought
she
about
did.
this. She might
She
have
did
a
have a
necklace.
necklace.
But the necklace
Okay,
was
what
never
the necklace?
established. That's just speculation.
Yeah, but
It's just speculation, but I mean,
Where was that to begin with?
didn't have. Wait, no, or could it just be the friendship necklace that they made in the song of the movie?
Or it
'Cause
could've
if it's
been
just
that
that,
the
I
show's just
mean-
going
Because-
downhill fast.
Yeah, no.
Nah,
Well, the
there's-
show made
there's no
such a
way.
point to tie into the movie. Like they mentioned it over and over and over. I was trying to keep track, and there's just too many times they mentioned the movie. But then they have her turn into a sea pony just like that. All of a sudden, it's like,
I
what?
think
what?
we should really
guys,
treat it
we're
as more of a two
mentioning the
separate, two
movie, we're
kind of
not
separate
dead yet.
entities.
Yeah.
Just kind of
New
separate.
Well,
Equestria Girls is looking
kind of separate.
great.
If they didn't try so hard to tie it to the
I'd
movie,
because they're
we-
linked, but I mean, it
Yeah.
could just be that they don't have the same continuity.
No, 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 we
I'm
could
gonna
have
chalk it up
separate
to more
canons.
exposition.
Kind of like how, you know, a lot of people consider Equestria Girls kind of to be a separate canon. You know, they do link together, but the show, you know, kind of
I would
remains
just
its own
consider
thing.
an alternate universe.
But here, yeah, the movie, they're trying to tie the
It's
movie
like
in too
super
closely with
canon.
this show, and it feels forced because they can never actually make it 100% the same because, you know, different animation styles, different voice actors, it'll never be the same, but they're trying so hard.
Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be a
Wait,
Tempest
this
with a
actually
Flash
means
puppet. I
that
mean,
C is canon.
What?
Yeah, it is.
What's
sea
canon?
ponies
C
are
is
always.
canon.
What is?
Didn't they say that when it came out?
Cia's music is canon in My Little
Oh
Pony.
yeah, and
Uh-huh.
Queen Novo has a navy, which I thought was kind of like. Hey,
Yeah.
A navy.
Don't worry.
Well, yeah, they
about
mentioned
that,
having a
we're
navy,
back to that
but you
original
think,
voice
oh,
actor.
do they have boats? Oh no, they're just an army of like sea ponies, so
yeah.
it's probably just
Yeah.
a navy. So it just
I
becomes
knew
a
it
navy.
was coming because my girlfriend kind of told me the spoilers, and I wanted to break
Wow.
up with
Skip
her.
ahead.
Must have been lame for you then.
Thanks to your girlfriend.
I wanted to break up with her for saying the spoilers.
So the weird
What
thing
did
is,
I
I
tell
guess
you?
the story here is the friends think school is too boring, so they go off on their own. They become closer friends, and the students, I mean. And
Hey,
So
it's just
Become
like
closer
my
friends,
They
not
just-
in the school made for friends,
yeah, I don't know. I thought it
because
was a
of
little,
the rules.
a little weird
I
how
don't
they
know,
start
I
off not
like-
liking each
It
other.
all revolves
matter.
around don't listen to rules, people. You
Forget
you
the
could do
rules.
better
Heck the
than
rules.
this.
Heck the
You-
Guys, moral of the
Heck the
story
police.
is
Heck the
taking class
rules.
is always better.
Honestly, there's too
Heck the
many like
police.
cliched characters and plot lines to follow here. Really, every single new thing they introduced is like a TV
Super
tropes
cliched.
page you can read about.
Yeah.
All right. I'm being very negative and pessimistic. I want to try to turn this around. What was some good things about the episode we could say?
Oh, I
New
really
characters. We
quality.
got new
There was
characters.
definitely
Applejack
there was
having
definitely a
good
quality
presence.
increase. Like I hope
I
the
thought
quality
the
like
yak
stays
was
throughout the
adorable,
same.
and so was the changeling.
The changeling
I had even seen some new faces that were like
So was
taken from
Sword.
the movie, were inspired by that.
Now-
I'd seen some in there, but I
Now-
got the quality
Now-
increase.
Like,
I
where's
used
Tempest?
I liked him
oh,
too.
or we couldn't afford her this season.
Yeah. So if
So
they
the
could,
one thing I
why'd
liked
they
about the
mention her?
season
They just had to
premiere,
mention her out of nowhere, but
Yeah.
They just have to mention her.
the one thing I
Tempest
liked
here.
about Applejack in the season premiere was her presence and her humor. I used to hate Applejack, but now I kind of like Applejack now.
Just from this?
I'm-
Really?
I've
Just
got
because he's a
Yeah.
teacher.
We didn't see
What the
her.
hell did she do in this episode?
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
she did
Hey,
everything
I'll-
I
obviously.
do like.
We're gonna learn about
I
apples
do-
today,
I do
y'all.
want to get this out of the
I
way.
mean, better
do
than
like
Rarity.
Sort of didn't really shoe in.
Nick, get out.
No, I like how they sort of did not shoe in Starlight. She was only there for that one part, and then we didn't see her again.
No,
And
she
you know-
was
Came in
there for an
2 more
exact
times.
3 times.
She was the
there
voice
for
of
an exact
reason.
3 times.
Actually, she had a good point about Twilight giving up too easily. So yeah, Starlight
Yeah.
actually made sense
Mhm.
Would
this
it be
episode.
weird?
It actually had a purpose.
Would it be weird if
Twilight for 5 minutes?
Tempest?
hate
Would it be
Starlight, I
weird
just
if
think she's
Tempest was a
terribly
different
written.
voice
I think you hate
actor
her.
from the actual movie? Would it be weird?
Maybe.
All right,
It
so
would be
I'm to
really
the
weird.
I'm to the
I don't think they're gonna
screenshots.
do it because
I
I mean they have
wanna
to make the
see
puppet, have to
Tempest
make the
again.
thing.
I'm up to the
I
point.
don't want to see Tempest in flash form. that's what
Operation
I don't
Cheer
wanna
Up
see
was
that.
my favorite part of the episode.
Operation.
I thought that was funny.
Basically, the way I put it is the episode got much better as soon as the students were out of the picture, and it was just the main
I
six being the
disagree.
main six.
I disagree.
I
disagree,
actually kind
okay.
of like the students.
Yeah.
I like the
Uh,
students.
I
It was
like
kinda
the
cool.
I mean, even though the
Yeah.
show needs to work on it and there needs to be a better writer, I do like them trying to handle multiple plots at once, like
The thing
subplots
is,
and.
I didn't like the teachers, like the EEA rulebook stuff.
Yeah.
That was all terrible.
And, well,
I-
the thing is,
terrible.
I look
Because it
forward to
reminds
that
you
guy
so much
becoming a
of real
villain
life, you know,
because I look forward
He's
to
not a
that
villain.
guy being a villain.
He's
I swear to God.
He's a school guy. They're
Well,
supposed
yeah.
to be.
He's
But,
gonna
like-
come back though.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back. He ran off in a magical portal that fizzled away
doesn't
with like
mean he's a
hand-drawn
villain,
animation.
He's gonna be our new.
No,
Villain,
he's
big
going to
villain.
be. They're not gonna ruin this opportunity. He's gonna be
He
like,
doesn't
"Screw you! I will become powerful than the princess."
So, I
do it.
I like
He
how
won't be
the show
reformed.
took a really
Let's
turn
hope
for
he
the best with
He's gonna be
Starlight.
reformed.
With Starlight
Maybe
being one
the
of the
rule
best.
book shouldn't be just.
Although I have a-
Starlight was
I-
one of the best, most
honestly-
relatable villains that was actually kind of realistic, and then they turn around completely with this evil authoritarian figure who just wants to crush and is evil and racist and like there's nothing
Racist,
redeemable about him.
militarized.
You know
Yeah.
what? I feel like
Yeah,
the
it's-
Kinsler
It's too much like
because
real life.
no, the EEA was also considered about racial like relations. Because
all right,
like,
hold
they're
on.
saying, oh, the
Quick
Griffins will
que-
like hate us, or they will they're different than us. We must hate them.
It's
It was,
not
like,
so much-
militaristic style stuff.
Not so much racism. It's speciesist. We got to be careful with
It's
our
not that.
terminology
I'm
here.
talking. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying like they're different. They're a different race, and they're because they're separated. Species, race, whatever.
I know.
Okay,
I don't want this to be a real world
races are
issue.
the ponies, unicorns, Pegasus, whatever. But the thing
I
is that
I just don't
they
want the movie to be canon.
the EEA acts awfully militaristic, or they worry about other like countries like
they
relations
worry about
within
like
it.
political.
Yeah, they worry about politics. They worry about relations to the pony empire.
Well,
I
it's
guess.
a classic example of like a committee with no power actually letting that little power go to its head. It actually makes a lot of sense.
It reminds me of that. It reminds me of that Pink Floyd song, "The Wall." It totally relates.
What?
About,
What?
we
It's
don't need
obviously a reference to Black Griffin.
No, it's
The
not.
BronyCon reference, guys.
Anyway, it was still a good premiere.
Okay.
I don't know. I liked it better when.
Now, personally, now
I like
about the
last season
songs,
premiere where it
about the
was only
songs.
just a
Oh yeah, there was
part.
2 songs, right? Or
Yeah,
was it
there
more?
was 2
two
songs.
I thought there were 3.
Maybe.
It,
might have
no,
been
there was
3.
only 2 songs. The beginning of "Oh, this is gonna be the greatest school ever." Then ending was like, "Yeah, this is still the best school ever."
You know, I was hoping some of like the other characters from the season finale from season 7 was gonna appear, like Star Sword.
Oh yeah,
But
no,
the thing-
yeah.
They,
thing
now
is,
they're
like,
just kind of
about-
gone, and now we're just all. This
Well, no,
movie
they
canon
mentioned
stuff.
they mentioned at the end. I think somewhere that they went off to go do stuff to spread the word.
But
around
still,
the so we weren't
No,
gonna
that
we're not
was
gonna see them
Tempest.
for a
That's
while.
That's true, but it feels messy. You
No, no,
introduce
no,
6
no, no,
new
no, no,
characters,
no,
the
no,
pillars,
no, no, not
and then
this
you introduce
episode.
the students.
In the previous episode, like before at the season finale,
know
they
that,
had
but,
mentioned
like-
that they
Well,
went
yeah,
on. So
yeah,
we're not
that's
gonna
true.
see Star Sword. We're not gonna
Yeah,
see Star Sword like for a while.
Yeah, no, I
Not-
mean that
not
makes
for a
sense.
while.
My problem would be how they're introducing 6 new characters, the pillars, and all of a sudden they're introducing 6 new characters, the students, and it's just way too many characters. The show is losing focus on the whole. Is my
I don't
problem.
remember half of the
But don't you
characters.
see, Little Shy? They just need new merch.
Yeah, I guess
Buy
it-
their toys.
it's kind of always been that way, but it feels especially
Yeah,
true
it's
now.
a toy
And
show.
look,
Like, that's
the new
point of it.
add-on
Buy the Book
playset
of
to
Friendship.
Twilight's Castle, Twilight School.
Like,
Ooh.
real talk,
Twilight
side
Sparkles
question. Is anyone actually bothered that these shows are made to sell toys? I'm not.
Yes.
Well, no, it
I'm
depends.
not that bothered.
Yeah, no, that alone isn't the
That's
issue.
because it's a My Little
I'm
Pony
okay with
franchise.
it,
It's
but
the My
it
Little
kind of
Pony
bothers me
franchise,
because
so it's
I
mostly.
So,
All right, let's get a
Storyline.
review.
I didn't
well,
like
hold
the
on.
school
How do you guys
setting.
feel about the throne room being based on the movie, not based on the show?
I like that. That's a nice
I don't
little
like
touch.
that. I don't like that.
I like it. It's a nice little touch.
I
Hold on,
thought
I
it
gotta
was
find a
okay.
comparison.
I
I
liked
with
it.
that. I really did like the movie.
So they kind of
Yeah, I like the movie.
It's like
I acknowledge that from an objective standpoint, it's not the pinnacle of story writing, but I had a great time with it.
So,
It's-
side question.
I watched it
Celestia-
too many times.
Celestia has the tallest chair. Luna's chair is slightly smaller, and Twilight just doesn't get a chair.
Hmm.
no, but hold on. This is something
but,
I'm hung
like,
up on now because
I'm so mad that Celestia's like character like continues to try and pull off this kind of like useless style thing because she was like in front taking crap from the EEA guy and she wasn't doing anything about it. She could have totally just
I
like
still like how
slammed
they
him
ignored
down.
the crystal ponies.
Even though she did talk him down later on, she could have interrupted him early on or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's true.
Before that, she could have just
Wait
removed
a second.
everything, but she didn't.
Oh, sorry, was that a screenshot from the movie or from the show before?
the
I couldn't
screenshot was
tell.
the show, and now what I'm showing on screen is a screenshot of today's episode. They're like I said, they're it's not the show anymore. The movie kind of made its own path into its own separate canon. It's weird.
This is a new universe.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Like I said, My Little Pony's went downhill after
Because he's
season 5.
triggered.
I mean, after season 5,
I
stop,
don't-
Tootsie, stop.
Okay,
stop.
I want to say,
Stop.
with
Stop,
all these
Tootsie, stop.
complaints, this does feel like an episode we're gonna overlook in the future and just kind of deal with it. Like that, when Twilight got her wings, that was a big moment. It was horrible, but no, she just has wings now. It's no big deal. So I think that's the same thing's gonna happen here eventually.
I don't see
Yeah,
her with
the-
wings.
Yeah, the writers are
Yes.
going to introduce a
This
really
episode
important
is-
character point, and then they're going to
So-
ignore it.
More than likely, the school's going to be there. We're going to see it a few times, but it's not going to be another main point for like a couple for.
Yeah.
the
Well,
next
it might be
episode.
the whole
maybe
season.
a couple. It might be,
I don't know.
but like I don't know.
Anyway, another thing is not only they're forging their own canon with the throne room, but it's a separate canon where Thorax and Ember aren't friends anymore. Apparently.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had an entire episode dedicated to that.
Who wrote that one? Was it Mike Vogel? That would be hilarious if he forgot his own episode.
To be
No,
fair,
was it?
it wouldn't be the first time the show's broken continuity.
They mentioned that they were
But they're
friends.
friends, though.
Yeah, I know he did mention it. That doesn't make it right. It was written by Josh Hamilton, not Mike Vogel. So Mike Vogel doesn't even watch the show.
Thorax mentioned that they were friends, and then Ember's just like,
Hmm.
what?
Yeah, you're right. Like they did mention it that there's something there.
Mike
but still.
Vogel's just in it for the money.
No. Do you guys know who Mike Vogel is? You know why I keep ragging on him? He's literally
Why?
he literally works for Hasbro's whatever. He works for Hasbro.
Okay.
He's
so,
a
yeah.
VP of development or whatever.
So that's why he's evil, because it works
So
for
that's
Hasbro.
that explains it. Yeah, he is
Literally.
evil.
He's not a writer. He's not a writer. He's an
literally
executive for
Satan.
Hasbro.
I bet you
okay.
you didn't know it, but like he
Let's
was.
go to reviews. Let's go to reviews.
No. We still have
Take
time.
Mike Vogel.
Mm.
I got a few more
Torches.
points here. This
No,
review is longer than usual because it's 2 episodes, 2-parter.
Yeah.
No, we need to keep arguing like stupid people.
Are we arguing? Who disagrees
That
with
was
me?
a race war.
Are we arguing?
I hate you, Magma.
Are we arguing?
Turtle, you're a good person. I don't like you for that
Be
reason.
suspended.
Tootsie has said plenty of stuff that I have many problems with.
No, but I have a question. And I
Down
want
with
you
the
guys to quote
monarchy.
me on this, but the little hedge. I'm just gonna call them hedgehogs. But did any or I don't know if
Pugglywogs.
I don't know if
Pugglies.
this actually happened, but
Porgs.
was there a hand that came out of a bush and put them there?
What?
Yeah,
was-
no.
that was-
No. There was a hand that came out of the bush and took an apple, and that was a Puggly-Wug, whatever
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was.
Oh, okay, all right. So,
Yeah.
all right, my bad. I thought someone like just put the pug lugs like after him, because that would have been a nice little
No.
plot.
Oh, that's a great screenshot
Alright.
of Sandbar.
Oh yeah,
But
that would have
you
been
know,
nice. No, that would have been.
I don't really have any
That was actually
minor gripes
Applejack.
other than it's school in the movie, but
All right, I guess we can go
I
ahead and
did
jump
like
into
this.
individuals. Any last
Yeah.
remarks before we do?
Yeah, I have to agree with the school.
when did what was the point of having the school behind Twilight's house? I mean, I think it would have been better.
Sell
if
'em
it
as a
was
set.
plot.
Remember, Mike Vogel wrote this.
I know, but it would have
He
been
works for
better in
Hasbro.
Cantor, like,
It's an
buy-
add-on playset.
No,
It's,
no,
it's, it's an
no.
add-on playset. It can be
How long
attached to
down?
Twilight's castle.
Up.
It can be.
My question
Okay.
is, how long? Like, did they just have an extra building behind the castle, or did they just like magically
so
appear out
built
of
it,
nowhere?
yeah,
Like,
We're kind of
so they-
backtracking now, but the new school appearing out of nowhere
Twilight-
was a
they
problem.
just don't want to
I had.
walk that far away from.
I
school,
am
so they
kind
don't
of
have to
confused
travel.
on that.
There
Was
was
there
no
just an
time
extra building?
to do a building scene because they smushed so much into the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, was there just an actual like I thought it was just like Celestia gave him like a extra building in Canterlot. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then no, it's just like, oh, it's right behind the castle. Okay.
And really quick for the couple people in the chat, and no doubt the comments later on. I'm not trying to diss Mike Vogel as a person, just his writing.
I'm already dissing him as a person. I'm already dissing him.
Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into individual ratings and reviews. Drummer Shy, you want to start us off? And really quick, for those who don't know, this is when we take turns individually saying our thoughts, and there's no interruption. So go ahead, Drummer Shy.
Interruption.
Yes, a review in my car. I thought the season premiere was okay. I liked Applejack's humor in it. I thought that was a plus. I liked Rarity in this. Rarity was really good. I didn't like what Twilight was doing. She seemed like a very terrible leader as a whole, but you know what? She resolved it. But I think she did a really terrible job leading this. And the education system, I had no idea there was one. Season premiere was okay. It was not my favorite. But I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10.
Oh, okay, that's still pretty high.
Yeah.
And it's still really. Oh, I didn't like
Seven.
this.
It was kind of bad. 9 out of 10.
So I'm next on the list, but I'm gonna wrap things up. So we're gonna jump to Magma Master. What do you think?
Best
Okay,
for last.
I thought the episode, or the premiere, whatever, it was okay. It started off pretty poorly, but got better over time. In the whole school, area, the whole area of the first episode where they were in the school, it didn't really, I didn't enjoy that very much. I don't really have the time to go in depth why. But yeah, that was not very good in my opinion. But after that, I liked what they set up then, how Twilight had basically had her school shut down, and then they had to, the rest of the main 7 fight me, had to find a way to get Twilight to stop just crying, and I actually enjoyed how while most of them were trying emotional support, Starlight was just direct and didn't really try emotional support. She just said Twilight what's going on, what Twilight should really be paying attention to, what she should be doing, and that is something I like about her character, that she has Tootsie. Because that is it. Because being
Hey,
more
I'm not calling
focused
you out
on-
on my review. Don't call me.
Honestly, feel free to address me. It's not gonna make you any less wrong. Anyway, so
Do you have a rating?
yeah. Wait. I'm not done
Oh,
yet. After
okay.
that, the thing with the students disappearing. Well, I'm pretty neutral on that. On the rest, I don't really. It was just kind of there for me. I liked some of the character interactions between the students. They seemed relatively interesting. And yeah, the way the situation is solved could pretty much be predicted from pretty much half through the whole thing. So yeah, I give it, I guess, I'll give it a 5.5. It was okay.
All right. Nick Nee, you're next.
5.5.
All right. So here's where I'm gonna start up with the episode as a whole. I mean, it had things wrong with it, but I kind of like it. You know, I feel like some things could have been handled a lot worse. I can tell that they're doing it. I think the biggest fault here is the fact that the writer was Mike Vogel. Now,
Well, he did.
Hey, you're
All
just
right.
taking
Babe.
a little-
well, he does work for like Hasbro, and you can see that easily with a bunch of stuff there. But you see like with the whole school being added in, how it's like right next to the castle, it's an add-on place. Ooh. But the songs seemed awfully forced, and that also falls onto the acting. And the songs themselves, now they were bad. The lyrics didn't make any. Well, they made some sense, but I
Like
mean,
both
they
the
weren't
songs?
good lyrics. They weren't good lyrics. The singers weren't. And
Yeah.
but the instrumentals were all right. They were all right. So it's a good side. But as a whole, the songs just weren't good. But so aside from that, I mean, I've already said most of like what I wanted to say like during the before this, and I don't feel like restating myself because I do that a lot. But I don't know. For me as a whole, I just like the episode. I feel like it could have been a lot worse. I'll just leave it with my rating. Something like seven or 7.5
Alright.
out of 10, somewhere in between.
All right.
Oh, seven.
Shady Games, you're next.
Okay, so my review of it is pretty much just gonna be me agreeing with everybody else. Like the whole remarks to the movie, they were completely unnecessary, and they just didn't need to be there and all that. And I thought it was kind of a waste of an intro. Second of all, I actually enjoyed the new characters that they brought here. I actually got a kick out of them, and like I want to say also like Naysayer like the way he was acting was completely unprofessional, and if someone were to act like that in real life, they might have well just have been like kind of like they shouldn't have been there, I guess. Just completely unprofessional. But anyways, this episode pretty much kind of touched a little too home for me, to be honest. I mean, it's a show about magical talking horses, and they're getting a little bit too real for me in terms of like the racism and all that sort of stuff. And like I want to say this episode was decent in my eyes. Like there was a lot going on, and the songs shouldn't have been there. They seemed like empty and hollow, I guess, forced in. And but with all that being said, I think that's pretty much the only problem I have with it. So I'm gonna give it like a 6. No, make that a 7 out of 10.
All right.
It was yeah.
All right. Sonic Crew, what'd you think?
As the whole two-parter episode, it was decent. I mean, I like actually. I did enjoy like the students. I thought they were okay. This episode just feels like this is like an equestrian girls version, but it's a pony style kind of, like especially for like the first part. But I think as later on, it kind of like became something very different. Now the whole MLP movie, like actually being canon, which is I don't. I want to like it, but I just don't. I'm just like sort of mixed on this because now it's like if people have never seen the movie, they're not, this premiere is like forcing them to go back and watch it. Um, other than that, I don't know what to give. I'm gonna have to give this a 6.5.
All right,
I-
6.5.
Yeah.
Let me mark that down. All right, who's next? Star Shadow. We haven't heard much from you
Me.
lately.
Well, yeah. Well,
I'm
during
just
the
like-
discussion, we managed to hit almost every point in my notes, so I don't know what else there is to go over.
Anything you want
I
to echo?
liked how, yeah, I'll read some stuff I wrote. I liked how they implemented some real elements, but still keep like the original idea of the characters, like having the EEA and having those restrictions. They were definitely poking fun at the current education system and changing stuff like that. Although certain things like school going wrong was predictable, you kind of have to expect that from the show at this point. And they basically took the entire episode to realize they didn't even need to go through the EEA in the first place. So I gave this one an 8 out of 10.
Oh, all right, that's pretty high.
That's pretty high, yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's Tootsie's turn. Now Tootsie is kind of
Hold
infamous in
on.
this group for
Can I
raging,
mention
but
one more
maybe
thing?
did you like this one or no?
Tootsie-
No, it's totally he did.
It was
Just
a
gonna hit
meh.
everything.
There it is.
Meh. Okay.
No, I only say that because I don't really care for the school concept. I really don't. I'm still very skeptical on this season. They said they were going to school. I don't like it because we're gonna go through all the stupid school plots and all that crap. But I can't I can't really let that affect my review just because we haven't seen those episodes yet. But as for these two-parters, I don't know. I liked it better. I liked the last season how the premiere started off as only a one part because I don't know, it was more fun. But this right here was just kind of boring. Well, I don't want to say boring. I'll say okay.
Cliche.
Just because I didn't really care for most of it. I did not
Yeah.
like. Why? Why is the My Little Pony movie canon? I
Well,
gave my review on the My Little Pony movie, treating it as its own movie and not treating it as a show. Go back and complain even more about the movie because there's so many more problems with it. And I just didn't really like that at all. Why mention a character when they're not going to show up? What is the relationship? Or actually, you guys explain the relationship with the
You
characters.
can't harp on it.
I didn't really care for the EEP. I think that's
EA. EEP
EA.
is the equestrian, whatever.
EVA.
EPA.
I can blame
EPA.
Twilight. I can blame Twilight on that because she didn't explain it as an actual study school, but more of just an actual friendship school. Other than that, but I don't know. I'll just give this like a really boring. I don't know, 5 out of 10.
all right, 5 out of 10 from Tootsie. Turtle Pain, your turn.
I wanted to like this episode, I really did. And for the most part, like the meat of the episode, I really liked, except minus the intro bit where they just basically shoved the movie in your face, like, "Hey, remember that happened, guys?" And it was like, "Okay, stop it. Hey, remember that? Stop it. Okay. Hey, remember? Stop it. Okay, we know the movie happened. We know that you want it to be a thing. Just be more natural at integrating it. Don't just say, "Hey, movie happened." By the way. But also, every time it was just about to leave on a cliffhanger to go to commercial, where it's supposed to leave you on the edge of your seat, like, what's going to happen next? I was more so like, that was a bad hangout. Like, what was the EEA pony name? Naysay, I think? Naysayer?
Yeah.
What was
They
it?
say
Yeah.
or
Okay,
something
Nate,
like
yeah. When every time Naysay opened his mouth, it was just like, "Yeah, I don't like you," and not in the good way. I don't like you. Like he's not fun to hate. He's just annoying.
Yep.
I liked the topic. The topic being like all of the red tape you have to go through for a school. How that form of school is not gonna work. It's too rigid, too structured, and how students don't really react to it very well. I liked that. That was a good idea. It's just the way they handled it was just so poor. I liked the students. I liked their dynamics, how they built off each other. I liked how Twilight's friends, minus Starlight, tried to do emotional support, where what she needed was someone who was straight to the point, like Starlight. I liked a lot of it, but I disliked more how they handled all of these bits and pieces. Songs were so. Didn't really have an opinion either way. But I gotta say, wasn't crazy about the episode. I'm gonna give it, I think, a 5 out of 10.
Ooh, another 5. All right.
Another 5. This is a low episode.
So I suppose it's my turn to give my thoughts and wrap things up. I don't even really know where to begin, because I feel like I can't talk about this episode without talking about the problems I have with Mike Vogel episodes, because they really feel like they all have they have wonderful concepts and ideas. Like, oh, I loved the finale where they wait, did he did the Shadow Play finale too, right? Or no, did he? I don't remember. Either way, he has some wonderful concepts that I would like as a pitch. It's like, yes, I want to see that in the show, but in execution, they completely lose focus, and it doesn't have like a flow to them. It kind of just things happen one after the other, and it's the show's always been predictable, but it's always been fun to follow how characters follow those predictable events. Kind of like we had the Romeo and Juliet episode, but that was a good episode because it was fun to follow the characters. We had a bunch of other cliches, but it was fun to follow because we like to see the likable characters in those situations. But in this episode, we got brand new characters right at the door. We didn't have a chance to get to know them, get to like them. Just boom, new characters in this situation that's pretty cliche. It's a school setting. We've seen that before, even in Equestria Girls, for example. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like this episode because I feel like we didn't have a chance to get used to all the new elements. We got the idea for a new school, the approval for the new school. We got the new school. We got the new characters. We got I can't read my handwriting. We got a whole bunch of new things that just pop up out of nowhere. No development for any of this. It's just this is the way it is now. And of course, as a few people mentioned, the movie being a thing. I don't have a problem with the movie being canon. I like the movie, but just the way they just nail it in. Like I think Turtle was saying, they just keep hammering it in. Like, oh, remember when this happened? Remember when this happened? It's like, no, the show should have enough. What's the word? Like class to just kind of move on from the movie and let that be a thing that happened. And yeah, that was a good thing. I liked the movie. But you don't have to try to tie it in so forcefully when you obviously can't tie it in literally with the characters that were in it and all that. And another thing I was thinking is Hasbro, for some reason, for so long now, Hasbro's been trying so hard to make their My Little Pony brand not about ponies. And I just don't understand that. We got Equestria Girls as humans. We got the movie Leaving Equestria, which was the best part of the show, is Equestria. That's what the show's about. And now we have this episode. Again, I understand what they're trying to do with, accept other different characters and all that.
We should have called the show My Little Creatures now.
Yeah, it's not about My Little Pony. And I feel like that's very detrimental to the show. It's like, really? You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like the main characters are old now. We're going to be doing 9 seasons, apparently, according to the leaks. And maybe they think, no one likes these main characters anymore. But no, the main 6 are what make the show. Why would you want to leave that?
Why would we not like the characters? We've seen 7 seasons of them.
And
we love them.
And a perfect example to tie it back to this episode is when they did the Operation Cheer Up Twilight. I thought that was adorable and likable. I loved that part. And like I joked about, I don't remember if it was in the review or in the call, but the episode got better as soon as the new characters left, and we just went back to the main 6 doing their thing. It was great. But I don't want to end on too low of a note, so I'll also say Starlight had a good role in this episode. I liked how she was the voice of reason. And I loved when the Changeling turned into Rarity and had that darling imitation. That was pretty funny.
Amazing.
So the episode had some good moments, but as a whole, I gotta say I'm really not a fan of this one. And this is my first impression. My first impression rating, unfortunately, is going to be a 4, which is like my lowest ever.
I was thinking 4, honestly.
Yeah. So, all right, let me calculate the average. Do we have a drum roll? I don't see Drummer Shy here, but
we can do a faux drum roll.
All right, our average rating for Little Shy Livestream first impression review. Of course, all this can change, but anyway, it's a 6 out of 10.
Wow, it gets an F. It's not accredited. It's not accredited by the Little Shy Livestream.
All right, thank you everyone for stopping by. Well, that's going to be the end of the recorded portion of the review, but we're probably going to stay live a little bit longer. Maybe I'll jump over to a different channel in the server we're in or whatever. But anyway, we should. Well, actually, all right. I'm sorry. We're not going to be back live. It's just we're going to end it now because I'm going to do my own thing. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope to see you next week. We're back to season 8. That's exciting. Even if I didn't like the episode, I'm excited about season 8. So hope to see you next time, guys. Goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.